So the attachments to this matrix, what we call this physical realm, right? The ancient call it Hades, right? We have our souls, right? We are light beings, so-called black people, the gods. We are light beings, right? Zeus is the one who created the matrix and has us entrapped in these physical bodies, right? In this 3D reality. Understand? And every time you die, which you really transcending, you don't really die, your soul gets captured and recycled, right? So we're basically like food, right? An energy source for the system, right? So we're basically keeping ourselves entrapped, right? But without that knowledge, you understand what I'm saying? So you have this goes to you have other races of beings, right? This goes into attachments, right? So the archons, right? The demiurge energies all work for Zeus, and you have other gods and goddesses that are malevolent, that are in cahoots with Zeus, right? To keep us entrapped in these physical bodies. Understand, right? So they get our energy, right, through emotions and attachments. What Well, the biggest attachment we are not noticing is the attachment to other races of people. You understand? And it's heartbreaking for some. What you got to understand is that other races of people do not exist. You understand? They don't exist beyond this matrix. They are one with the matrix. You understand? So one of the plans of this wicked traitor of ours, right, is that to get you attached to these beings, right? Whether it be through love, procreation, or hatred, right? They want you to have, because you know emotions, right? Is a big energy, right? The emotions come with attachment. So once you're attached to other races of people, they are siphoning your energy. And that energy that gets siphoned goes into the matrix to keep the matrix running and to keep us entrapped down here, right? And what's a bigger energy source than emotions, right? What's a bigger energy source? Your sexual energy, right? That's why this interracial breeding is pushed so heavily. You understand? We are all the same. We all can share sexual energy. That's why it's pushed so heavily, because that sexual energy that other races of beings that they are gathering from us, right? Knowingly and unknowingly, right? That energy they gather for us is then transmuted back into the matrix. It keeps the matrix going, right? Why you think and remember what I tell you, it's not just in one way. That's why you have like they so like what you call it. They so quick to attack us, right? That's why they can't leave us alone. Because you have to remember it's a programming, right? The DNA, genetic code is nothing but programming. So other races of people were programmed to be antagonistic towards black people, the light beings, the gods. That's what they were created for. They are one with the matrix. That's why they can't let us go. That's why they have to be always under us. They don't even know why they have to be always under us, but they are, right? It's in their genetic code. You don't have to teach a dog to bark. You don't have to teach a cat to do cat things. You understand? It's already embedded in their genetic code, in their programming, right? So I need y'all to understand, just giving these people energy in any type of way, right? That's why they have all these. Why you think they will kill us and advertise it all over? The hangings, the cops killing us, the whatever way to siphon our energy, they're going to do it. Because it's our energy that keeps the matrix going, that keeps them alive. If this world ends, right? If this matrix ends, they end. It's the end of them. That's why they always trying to make a better world. They don't want this matrix to end. You understand? They don't want us to wake up. They want to keep us in a sleeping slumber. And then you have other melanated beings, God and goddesses, that look like us, nigga, that know this, but they malevolent, right? They're playing in your faces like these church folks, right? These are fallen angels, but fallen angels, they're gods and goddesses as well, but that just chose the other side. You understand? So these fallen angels are the ones who are running these religious programmings, right? That's capturing light being souls and bringing them to these churches and keeping them stuck in these you feel me, reincarnation cycles. Peep game. There's a lot of things that's holding us back, right? But at the end, we already won, right? But it's just you just have to be aware. And for your star seeds that's coming into, right, this 3D reality, they have to be aware. It's not about, oh, we're one human species, oh, it's one love. It's really not. If we get deep down to it, it gets dark. Like I told you, these people do not exist. And your love, your hate, your like, your whatever emotions you feel towards them, that's why they don't care if they rile you up. They don't care if they show you love. They just need the emotion, the emotional attachment to them. Once you give them that, they siphon your energy, and it's feeding the matrix. We feed the matrix. Everything comes from us. If we're not even talking that deep, if we're just talking about culture wise, you understand, just everything, bro, comes from us. So it plays the same way in the spiritual realm. That's what these motherfuckers are not getting. Facts. It's all about these attachments, right? Other races of people, they want you to be so attached to them, bro. They won't admit it, right? A lot of them won't admit it, right? That's why son, they can't leave us alone. And I'm giving you the reason why. But I'm giving you the reason why for you to realize, stop giving these people your energy. Stop giving these people your energy. Right? Total separation and protection for self is what we need. These people are not just going to let us govern ourselves. Once we start governing ourselves, we don't need them. Then we start forgetting about them. And then they will really disappear. That's why they don't want you to have self-love. That's why their image of God, right? The image of God they gave you, right, is a Caucasian man. You understand? They don't want you to have self-love. They want you to have love for them because it fuels the matrix. Your attachment to other races of beings fuel this motherfucking matrix. And a lot of y'all don't want to hear that. We all have friends at one point and probably still do. That is these NPCs. They're the real NPCs that come with this matrix. So play this game like the fuck it is. This is a big awareness you need to have. Because once you realize these motherfuckers are NPCs, bro, you won't let them get to you. You will know how to maneuver, right? You wouldn't sit there and procreate with a robot and thinking you're getting yourself out of that robot, right? This is a huge thing. This is a huge thing. This is one of the last steps. The realization that us reflection is all we got in the whole multiverse. They don't exist outside this programming. These are the children of the races of beings. These are the children of Zeus. And who is Zeus? One of the gods. You understand? A melanated being. This is his, right? This is his experiment. These are his lab rats, nigga. Has nothing to do with you. Now you procreating with a lab rat, and you think you're gonna get you out of that procreation? Y'all not seeing it. Y'all not getting it. Because y'all too in love with the motherfucking matrix. Y'all too in love with other races of beings. You guys are in love with NPCs. Y'all love the game too much. It's like a nigga that's on the game. You're just on the game. You can't let it go. You understand? 20 hours on the game. You fell in love with the female or male that's the characters that's in the game. You forgot there's a real life, nigga. There's real people. And the only real people is carbonated beings, so-called black people. That shit hurt, don't it? You understand? It hurts, don't it? It only hurts because you've been living in a lie. You've been living in a religious lie that's been teaching you that we're all the same. You've been living in a world you thought that was real. That's why it hurts right here. You understand? You probably already procreated with an NPC. That's what hurts. But get over it, because this is not real. This is a holographic universe. The only thing that's real is your soul. And if you are not a carbonated being, you are not a so-called black person, you don't have one. And the soul is not just given. You understand? Just like you like you're born black, nigga. You were black. You feel me? In the Astros, you was a nigga. You understand? You not the soul. Back to the soul. The soul is not something that's just given, right? The soul is not given. Like, the soul been around for millions and millions of years, from the primordial waters, right? So your hybrid babies, you're part of this matrix. You get what I'm saying? They still a part of this matrix. It hurt. It don't hurt me. But I'm saying in general, because we all connected. You feel me? When it comes to so-called, you feel me, black people, we're all connected. So we can feel each other's pain, right? Those that's just lost in the souls. It's a shame, right? But we get it. For some of you, it's not your time to be aware of this information. Your soul probably have another reincarnation school it needs to go through. You got some shit you gotta learn, right? That's what it is. That's facts of life. But don't get fooled, right? Don't get fooled, because you'll come right back in this bitch to be fooled, right? Falling in love with these other races of beings, having these attachments to these other races of beings, right? They don't have an afterlife. You could give them one to live in your universe, but they will never be you. But that's a later conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Peace to the gods and goddesses.